Hello and welcome back to Astro Self Care Sunday with me, Kenya. And it's been a minute. We're back. It's been a good minute. Today we're going to discuss why is everything changing so much as it relates to astrology. And y'all, listen, let me tell you something. This is my third time making an attempt to record this. I mean fully record it the last two times. And there was some techie crazy error. So this is my third time. I took a break last night. I just stopped and came back. So I don't know. The universe doesn't, I don't know. This is the time that the universe is wanting me to say this to you. So we are back. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. My name is Kenya, and I'm an astrology guidance coach. What that just means is instead of just an astrologer, I have a background also in counseling. My master's is in counseling, and I'm a certified holistic wellness coach. And so I combine all of those things mixed in with astrology to really help you better understand what it is, what it's not, and to demystify it and to teach you how to utilize the energy for your actual care and for your transformation, for your evolution, for your betterment, for your thrive, all the things. And so on Sundays, I am here, I am back to do what we call Astro Self Care Sunday. And what Astro Self Care Sunday does is we take a topic within astrology. We usually do some type of a series, and we're going to be kicking off a new series related to this topic. Um, but it's all to help you learn how to take care of yourself using and understanding astrology, which is really just using and understanding nature, just another level of nature. So today, why is everything changing so much? So listen, in addition to subscribing, okay, if you're already a subscriber, thank you, thank you. We finally hit our 1K. My God. We finally did it. And now the goal is to get to 1100. 1.1. Right now we're at like 1.05. So make sure you subscribe, share, like, because that's how the algorithm will start to get it out to other people who would dig this. If you have questions or a comment, you can put it in the chat as long as it's constructive. You can always say hello. And if this really, really resonates with you, if what I am saying is like, whoa, and you'd like to do a guidance reading, and the difference between just a regular reading and a guidance reading. A guidance reading is I'm going to be asking you some questions, do a little bit of coaching, really help you understand purpose, understand what this lifetime the soul is wanting to shed, and then look at the current kind of sky and how it may be influencing you right now. And some things just never to tell you good or bad. It's never about that. It's about how can we thrive utilizing the energy the best. All right. So if this resonates, you see that little scroll that's going to stay there. It's going to stay there. I want you to go to my link tree and you'll see astrology services there. You're going to click on that, and then you'll see all the different ways that we can work together. Okay. And I would say the main ways to do a reading, I always say to start out with that. That's an hour long. But also, I have coaching if you really want to dig in to better understand your love relationships, your health and well being, really want to be able to utilize the moon cycles and your self care. That's what that coaching is for. I also, though, have digital blueprints where we don't have to meet at all. You just give me some information, and I'm going to give you back some information for you to use to take care of yourself as it relates to, again, to your relationships, as it relates to soul purpose and what soul is really trying to release right now. And a big part of this blueprint is also your elements. So, really better understanding what's the dominant element of nature that you are more wired and drawn to. Are you mostly fire, mostly water, mostly earth, mostly air? And then what to do with that? And that can be done on that digital blueprint, which you can just get the blueprint, or you can also get a recording of me talking and a recording of me on video for that. So lots of options. So dig into that. Go to the link tree. If you see it scrolling, It'll also be in the description so that you can book something with me. But let's get into this. I try to be less than 30 minutes in this space. Why is everything changing so much right now? Well, this is the bottom line. Simply said, because every single planet is changing into a new sign in 2025. With the exception, Pluto has already made its grand entrance into Aquarius. And so, what I'm going to talk about today to kick off our series of these planets moving into new signs, what does that mean? And what does that mean for your care and how you should be looking at 2025 in terms of your care? So, that's really what the series is going to be. Today, I'm just going to talk about the movement, where they're moving to, what signs they're moving in, um, and kind of just overall what that means, right? So, this is the thing there are 10 planets. Really, two of the planets are actually luminaries, Sun and the Moon. Sun and the Moon do not retrograde. Everything else does have the aptitude to be able to retrograde, meaning to slow down. Sun and the Moon don't do that. They're luminaries. And half of those planets slash luminaries are what we considered fast moving planets, okay? Meaning they change signs all the time, okay? Nothing new for that to happen in a year. Sun is changing a sign every month. Moon is changing a sign every 2.5 days. Yes. At the time of me recording, where the sun is in Pisces, I'm sorry, the moon is in Pisces. So it's fast moving. Mercury, y'all know about the Mercury retrogrades. Mercury's moving every few weeks. That's why we have so many retrogrades, because it has a lot of movement to it. Venus is moving about every month or so. And then Mars is moving about every 6 weeks or so. So they're considered what's our fast moving planets. All right. I will say right now, Mars is in a retrograde, and it's a significant one because Mars is the slower of the fast, slowest of the fast moving. And so it's going to be spending a lot of time in Leo and Cancer. And I did some TikTok videos on that. And I've got lots of people kind of like, what does that mean? Because it's significant just because it's taking several months. Really, I think the total number of months in this whole kind of Mars, Leo, Cancer energy is like from end of September all the way to like end of last September of 2024 into April of 2025. So it's significant. And that's, again, remember, because it takes around 6 weeks or so to move. And then when it goes in this retrograde, it's taking that amount of time to go retrograde. Then it's got to come back. So there's a lot of Mars energy that we are reviewing right now. Imagine that. Mars is our fight, our power, our goddess, our warrior, our courage, our independent, not even so much courage, our confidence, our independence. So it's interesting that it's doing this kind of interesting retrograde. And when it gets into Cancer, it doesn't love being there. So we're all being asked to really be in this period of how are we powerful? How are we powerful? So that's an interesting one. That's its own episode. But anyway, what I really want to get in today, though, is the other. So all of those Mars, Venus, Sun, Moon, they're always moving every year. Like they change planet or change zodiac signs all the time. And understand, if you're new to astrology and you're like, ugh, basically every planet is just tick, 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 and they're all moving at different rates, mainly because of where their distance is from the Earth. Okay. And so they're moving into different zodiac signs. Okay. So right now the sun is in Capricorn. So we're in Capricorn season, right? In a few weeks, it's going to be Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarian, you got a birthday coming up in about, I don't know, 4 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks, right? So we get that, right? Every planet is doing that. Just like we understand that every month or so we're in a new sign, a new season, every planet is moving into a different sign. Okay. It's just the rate at which they're moving. So the slower guys Okay, are our more outer planets. Now, there's the planets of Jupiter and Saturn who are kind of more in the middle. So they're not fast moving, but they're not as slow as the outer moving. And they're very significant. Jupiter and Saturn both really, really give us so much of our lessons, so much of our discipline. And that is mainly because they sit for a little bit of longer time. They give us more time in the energy of that sign as a collective, and then as for ourselves to really claim and draw upon and utilize that energy. So Jupiter right now, but all the fast moving signs or planets are going to be moving, and all Jupiter is going to be changing signs in the summer, and Saturn is going to be changing signs in the summer. And then I'll get to the Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. So Jupiter usually spends a year, a little over a year in a space in a zodiac sign. And so right now it's in Gemini, and it's going to be shifting into Cancer this summer. And there's a lot that's going to be happening this summer. So, what does that mean when we say a lot's moving? Why is everything changing so much? Because everything's changing so much. And that is alluding to the fact that humanity and how we exist and how we are in relationship to technology, to each other, to education, to love, to relationship, to all of that is changing. And because they're all changing signs in the same year, it's very suggestive that that's a very massive shift of how humanity is going to be responding. So this is why this is so important and why things feel like they're changing so much and why it feels like we can't just get back to how things were. Because there's a different consciousness. Everything is shifting. And understand that the universe, nature only shifts in a way when it's naturally shifting in a way to serve us for our betterment, to get us into the next era of what we're going to build, of what systems we're going to create, of how we're going to be as people, what we're going to value. All of that is just moving. It's just elevating. It's just interesting because we happen to be witnessing all of this, right? So Jupiter is moving from Gemini into Cancer. And again, in my series, I'm going to explain what that means and what energetically that means. But just understand Jupiter, I'll tell you what each planet kind of is, and I'll tell you a little bit about the sign so that you have some context. But Jupiter is about our abundance, it's about our lessons, it's about our growth and our expansion. It's a more favorable energy. So it's typically teaching our lessons through favorable and more positive opportunities when we are in a higher frequency, meaning when we are paying attention, when we are in alignment with our truth, when we are not scheming, when we are actually attempting to see what there is to see and to be what it is we're here to be. Jupiter is trying to help us in that. Where Cancer, where it's going to be moving into, is all about our nurture, it's our water energy, it's our emotions, it's our home, it's our family life. And so abundance within those spaces, you can kind of add it up. We'll talk about it more when we do our series. Saturn is going to be moving from Pisces into Aries. Now, Saturn is the energy, is kind of the taskmaster. And I do have a series here. You can go to my playlist. If you go to Astral Self Care Sunday playlist, I talk about planets and the signs, and so that you can have a better context. But Saturn is always, I think, Saturn gets a bad rap. People who are kind of trendy into astrology will say that Saturn is all about, oh, it's going to be my Saturn return. Those of you who have Saturn in Aries, yes, you're beginning your Saturn return. So if you are 29, 28, 27, 27, really, 27, 28, you're about to enter that. If you are 57, you're about to enter that, or 56, 26, 27, 56, 57. You're about to enter this. Saturn return is about to happen because Saturn is about to get into Aries later this year. It is going to go into retrograde later. Let me see exactly when Saturn, because I got notes. I keep notes. Let me see when. So yes, Saturn is going to go into Aries before summer kicks off. So May of 2025, but it is going to dip back into a retrograde into Pisces in September, but then it'll go forward again come early or mid February of 2026. So I'll talk more in our series about what that means. But remember, Saturn is our taskmaster. It wants us to get in alignment. It's our disciplinarian. It's our boundaries. It's our rules. It's our how we are disciplined in order to accomplish and to achieve. All right. Where it's going into Aries, which is our confidence, our I am. It's that Mars energy because Mars rules Aries. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how we get into an alignment and how disciplined we are within our power, within our I am and our confidence. Saturn's going to work on it. It's going to work some years on it. Okay. And it's doing a retrograde, so it's going to be a little bit of a longer, it's actually a longer transit when it gets into Aries. And then we have our real outer, so our much longer, slower, farther away planets. First up, Uranus. Uranus is currently in Taurus, but it's going to be going into Gemini. When you ask, July. This summer, okay? And so remember, Uranus is that energy. If you don't know, it's the planet, it's the innovator, it's the rebel, it's the disruptor. It's trying to get us to really be in alignment with our innovation and our unique qualities and our individuality. Now, if you see, there's some themes happening here. These planets moving, a lot of power moves, a lot of getting us to really trust ourselves and the uniqueness about ourselves. Okay. And it's going to be moving into Gemini, and it's going to be there for years. Gemini is air. Gemini is communication and our thinking. Gemini rules education and transportation, writing. So it's going to be kind of interesting. If you think of AI, between that Aquarius and that Gemini and all that doing, there's a lot that's going to be happening, I think, in our systems of how we communicate and how we think, how we learn. Uranus don't though play around. Uranus is an energy that is trying to shake things up in order to get us to line up to the uniqueness, not just a truth about us, but what is unique about us, what sets us apart. So that's going to be interesting. We'll go more into that when we do our series. And then we have lovely Neptune. And Neptune has currently been very comfortable in its Pisces home because it rules Pisces. It's very happy there. But it's going to be moving into Aries this summer. It's going to probably be like, whoa, because Neptune is this dreamy, watery, illusion, sometimes dissolving energy. So for it to get into Aries, it's whoa. So that'll be interesting. How will we be more intuitive with our power? How will we dream bigger and be confident about that? How will we allow ourselves to not get so attached to those power kind of moves? So that's going to be that's what Neptune is going to be moving into. And it's going to be there, y'all, for a long time. It's going to do a little bit of a retrograde at the end of the year. So it's going to go back into Pisces a bit. So everything is kind of going. And it's like, okay, let's relax a little bit. And it's going to go back and then it's boom, we're going straight ahead. 2026 is when things are all a go. Okay, really, for real. Pluto is the last of the planets. But Pluto has already made its direct with Aquarius and Pluto's there. And so again, Pluto is about our transformation. Pluto is about our power also. Pluto is about our ability to, our subconscious, our deep subconscious, our most intimate parts of ourselves that a lot of times we're afraid to go to. Sometimes the darker, but the darker only so that we can get in the muck, so that we can fertilize the muck, so that we can have some beautiful plants and blooming and blossoming. So Pluto can get a little bit in the muck, and it's a subconscious energy. So a lot of what Pluto is doing is it can feel like, oh, what's happening? Because it's not our conscious. It's trying to pull us into our shadows, trying to pull us into the depths of ourselves in order to see what's happening so that we can make changes. It will make things go away so that we can really pay attention. So it's in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So it too is the disruptor, the I know, the liberator, the humanitarian. So lots of transformation, lots of changes as it relates to humanity. And that's what I kind of started saying. Why is everything changing so much? Because everything's changing so much. Now, there's also, these are not planets, but understand that Chiron, which is an asteroid, it is currently in Aries. It's going to stay, it's going to chill. Okay. So it's not a planet, it's not moving, it's still trying to help us heal. So this will be nice. Chiron will be sitting still in Aries while Saturn is there and while once Neptune gets in there. Okay. When we are aligned with what is our hurt, this can be very, very powerful in because Chiron is the wounded healer. So if we can connect to the hurt, Saturn can help us get a more disciplined in it. And then our Neptune and its intuition can help us really tap into what the hurt really, really was about. So that we can really be more actualized in the Aries and not like faking it with the Aries. So it's going to be kind of a deep mix. The Aries energy is going to be a deep. So those of you who have big placements in Aries, come 2026, particularly, I think there's going to be a lot of really beautiful, beautiful opportunity for growth if you're paying attention. Okay. Also, the nodes, the lunar nodes. So the south node, north node, the axes where the eclipses occur, all of that. We're shifting from that Libra Aries situation where north node has been in Aries forever and then south node has been in Libra. We're pivoting, moving. Yep, it's moving this year. Yep, too. It's not a planet, but is a lunar node. And it is what is happening with our eclipses. It's moving into the Virgo and Pisces axis. So instead of the Libra Aries eclipses, it's going to be Virgo Pisces eclipses. And so that part of your chart is going to be, or that part of your life is going to be really working on letting go of stagnant energy so that you can move. So eclipses happen all the time. These rotations are going all the time. So don't freak out. You've lived through a Pisces, Virgo eclipse stuff. All right. So in our series, we'll pay most attention to our planets. I probably will add on, though, also the eclipses so that you can understand that clearly. Because I don't know, it might be near eclipses, and by the time I get there with the series. So why is everything changing so much? Because everything's changing so much. If this has resonated again for you, if you were like, okay, so I got Aries in my sun, that's my moon, that's my rising. What'd you say again about Pisces and Virgo? Book a reading. So we can sit down and one, so that I can calm, because this is astro self-care. This isn't astro freak out. This is about what do we need to do to take better care of ourselves using nature. We're taking care of ourselves in a lot of other ways, I hope. This is also to help us take care of ourselves in a more energetic way and in a more soulful way. And when I say soul, meaning the true essence of who you are, the true value of who you are. Again, not to get you convoluted into religion. You can hold whatever religion you have, which is what's so beautiful about astrology, because it's a modality, it's a tool. It's just looking at nature. It's just another mechanism to help you better understand yourself and why you're here. So that whatever connections you're making to whatever entities or whatever it is, it can be that much stronger because you have a really good understanding of the gifts you've been given by the universe and by the divine. So I love astrology. I hope this was a good start. I'm looking forward to being back. It looks like the video. I hope third is the magic charm, because I'm not recording this again. I don't think. I don't know. But we'll be back again and we'll start this series. We'll kick it off with Jupiter, because we're looking at our more slow moving planets. So I can break that down for you a bit more and understand what that means, because they're going to be lingering around in the signs longer than the sun and the moon and Mars and Venus, which are quicker moving entities. All right. You guys take really good care. Enjoy the beginning of 2025. Make sure you visit my link tree so that you can book a time for us to do a reading, or you can book one of the other services. I also have memberships, but the memberships are specifically for women. Diverse women. So for us to tap in deeper into this kind of soul care that we're doing. All right. So visit me there. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you know when my videos are released. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. All right. Be good.